Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Daily Whatever Show. I am Lawrence Winterman. It is Wednesday, the 4th of March. May the 4th be with you. Oh, no, that's May 4th. Okay. Oops. Let's see. What else can I say? Happy birthday, Raj Chowdhury, childhood friend, who I will never forget that his birthday is March 4th. Partly because it's 5 days before my birthday on March 9th. I am extemporizing. Oh, hey, there she is. I am going to add Dana Dubois to the chat. What is up, friend?
Sorry, me barely. Not feeling my best, Lawrence. This
Oh,
freaking
no.
cold will not go away. I'm sorry to be here a couple minutes late. I was like, oh, I hope he's waiting for me to go live. I know it's so uncomfortable.
Yeah, I didn't. Sorry.
Oh, no, no, no. I just felt bad that I was like, doing all the things. You were just talking about March 9th, though, weren't you? Is that what I just heard?
Well, I said happy March 4th, and then I said may the 4th be with you, and I was like, oh, no, wait, that's May 4th. I said, but March 4th is, as you will know, whose birthday is it, Dana?
My ex-husband.
Who else?
March 4th?
Yes.
I don't know.
Oh fuck. No, you know what? I said it was Raj Chowdhury's. It's not. His is the first, isn't it?
I don't know. Yeah, I think it is the first because
Yes.
they.
All right.
Okay.
Well, there
Well,
I
we're
fucked
going.
up. I knew somebody's birthday was March 4th.
Yes,
Um
it's a great day because it's the only date that I know of that is a proclamation, March
yes.
4th. So let today be the day that you put, boots on the ground and go get some shit done.
That is excellent advice. That is excellent advice.
Yeah.
So some breaking programming news. Your weirdo friend was going to join us today, and they were going to talk about the most recent, as in yesterday, moment where Substack banned their account again,
Again. Again?
and they have decided to leave Substack, which is really, really
Oh,
sad because we really value their voice and they bring so much to the conversation in the community. They were going to join us today. We'd kind of made the offer that if they wanted to come on and talk about it and, say
oh,
goodbye, and they're not feeling well. So Dr. G is not able to join us today, but we want them to know that they are really cherished, and we see what is happening to them, and fucking hate it, right? And they pointed
yeah.
out that women of color and trans folks and trans women in particular often tend to bear the brunt of shit like this, where the system sort of
Yeah.
fucks with them and tries to actively marginalize and push them out. And so, as a trans non-binary person, as a trans advocate, as an organizer, community organizer who's really outspoken, Dr. G feels like they are being fucked with by Substack on purpose. And, sometimes you just can't do it. You don't have the fight. And I completely get where they're coming from, and still I'm really fucking sad and angry on their behalf.
Um, Me too. I still, I can't quite wrap my brain around what's happening in this space that we've been here now just about a year,
Yeah.
but really 10 months on the Daily Whatever show. And it's been such a benevolent space. It is hard to
For
keep
us, right? Like our
well,
experience of it has been benevolent.
yes.
Yes.
Yes, and for so many people in the community, but what I was going to say is it's hard not to have eyes, or it's important to keep eyes on the fact that at the end of the day, Substack isn't the platform we see and the community we build. It is the billionaire who owns it and who he's getting his money from and who he's beholden to.
Right. Right. And if a community feels safe and welcoming only to certain people and not
Mhm.
to everybody, then it isn't safe, right? It isn't what we imagine it to be. So it's disappointing because our experience of Substack has been like,
Yes.
oh, hey, it's like, all the gifted kids got together and we're hanging out in the library, like, making trouble. But yeah, like that's not the experience that trans folks have here. It's not the experience that BIPOC people have here, particularly BIPOC women, and that fucking sucks, you know. And um, I I feel dumb because I don't know what the answer to that is, right? Like, I don't think it's stay and fight and try to turn it into something different because, to your point, Dana, it's owned by a billionaire. They're going to do whatever the fuck they want to do. Like, we are pretty powerless in this.
Yeah. I'm reading Karen's comment here in the chat. Mark Andrenson is pulling the strings now since he ponied up 100 million and he's in Trump's pocket. Yeah, I
No,
don't.
Andreessen Horowitz invested $100 million, and they are techno bro
Oh,
fascist
wait, we
types.
just two different people gave 100 million. Is it Mark or is it?
Andreessen Horowitz is the company that
Oh,
Mark Andreessen is. It's his VC firm. Andreessen Horowitz is, I think, sometimes called A16 because it's starts with an A and there are 16 letters in it. They're one of the biggest venture capital firms in Silicon Valley and have an ungodly amount of money and power. And they are absolutely a part of that Peter Thiel, tech bro, douchebaggery, and, right wing shenanigans thing.
hate it. Hate
Yeah.
it. I don't have anything more profound to say today. I am a little bit under the weather, so got out of bed kind of late, and I'm like, this is not the news I wanted to hear. I was heartened to see them back, and by them I mean your weirdo friend, Dr. G,
Yep.
after last week's awful shenanigans from Substack. I watched them do a live a couple nights ago and was really looking forward to having them on the show to talk more about what had happened and kind of assumed an ongoing path here. So to hear
Yeah.
that yet another profile was targeted,
Yeah.
like,
It's disgusting. Um,
but the Nazis are still here, right? Because the excuse they always use when that. Sorry, I'm going to pause, gather my thoughts,
yeah.
and before
Another
making the
programming
decision.
note
Oh, sorry, go ahead. I
that you
wasn't
don't
done,
know
but
yet, Dana, is
okay,
our friend
okay.
Cliff Schechter is going to join us at the bottom of the hour
Oh,
um,
okay.
to talk about Texas and primaries and whatnot, because there's a lot to unpack there.
Oh, fabulous. Okay. That sounds great. So at half after,
Yeah,
halfway through. Okay, that sounds fabulous. And now I lost my train of thought about what I gathered my thoughts for. Can't interrupt me today, Lawrence. My brain is full of gunk, and it's all going to get interrupted. But um, what I will say, and since you said Cliff's name, that reminds me, I have a story going live on Blue Amp today at noon Eastern time about ChatGPT and Claude and their parent companies, OpenAI and Anthropic, and how one, OpenAI, is in cahoots with the government. OpenAI and Anthropic is resisted aligning with the Department of War and their
being
intent.
punished.
Yes, and now they're being punished, so that we should move. But when it comes to platforms like this, it just doesn't feel like they're a great option. Someone in the chat asked where Dr. G is going. They're asking if they're still on YouTube. I don't know. Do you know the answer to that, Lawrence? Are they still on YouTube?
They are still on YouTube. I asked them if there was an email address or a site that they wanted to pass along. I do know that they got invited by Wendy the Druid to join them over at Beehive, and so they might be doing that. I'm not 100% sure where they're
Okay.
going to end up. What really broke my heart was, just in the chat messages and kind of voice memos that we were sending back and forth. Uh, they sounded really down, which of course makes sense. But there was a little bit of I think they're kind of not feeling well because they've got the crud that everyone has got, and there was a little bit of a feeling of kind of defeat there
Mm-hmm.
because of course there is. Like, it has got to be fucking exhausting,
Right.
to constantly defend your existence and ask for equal respect and not receive it. And so I have a lot of empathy and sadness that this is their experience. And yeah, I think maybe they kind of need a minute to figure out where they're going to go next and where their energy is
Yeah, and we
best
can share
spent.
that information. Hopefully we'll get it and we can
Yeah.
share that information. Um, Jen Budd is asking what's going on with Substack. It seems that they're targeting some outspoken people, let's say, and particularly marginalized one. Dr. G is the most dramatic example I've heard. You've probably gathered by now, Jen, because I saw you posted that a few minutes ago that Dr. G has now been deplatformed a couple times. They've
Yeah.
been kicked off the platform. And then I saw Elizabeth Raven, who is really outspoken and in Caracas, has had her follower and subscriber lists like not entirely purged, but people are getting kicked off of them. I was one of them, so I do know what happened. Um, it's hard. You don't want to sound like you're being paranoid. It's that Nirvana line that keeps coming back to me over and over again. Just because you're paranoid, don't mean they're not after you. Like
Right.
in Dr. G's case, I see no other rational example that or explanation than that they're being targeted, and that sucks.
Yeah. No, it's right. Like exactly. Just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not out to get you. You know, it absolutely seems like Dr. G has been targeted, and
And yeah,
and they're fucking Substack is fucking with their numbers, you know, intentionally and with their ability to post and build any consistency. And Jen, I saw your post that your numbers have been down. We're all feeling that, right? Like I feel like in the political space, if there's an obvious, you know, liberal bent to what you're posting about, or you know, truth telling bent, Substack has suddenly become a place where it's really hard to get new subscribers and it's really hard to get your voice out there. And you know, tagging back to our the piece that Karen chipped in, I I think it is not a coincidence that Andreas and Horowitz invested $100 million and suddenly wanted to
yeah,
make the space about celebrity and not politics. And now, weirdly, all the political content is, you know, it's like there's a thumb on the scales. We're working, you know, twice as hard for half or a quarter as much return. Um, I am not sure how we survive here long term, right? I think we need to be having realistic conversations about how to platform in different places, and I think that includes, you know, almost crazy talk. Well, not crazy talk because it's stuff that Melissa Corrigan has been talking about for a while,
yes,
which is like maybe you build your website on a server in Iceland or Switzerland, where it cannot be fucked with by the American government. Well, the server can't, you know, but certainly you know, they could still block the URL or do some DNS decline kind of thing. Like we all need to get used to the idea with growing authoritarianism that they could take our voice away. Like they could literally shut down our digital voices
right.
one by one or all at once.
It's
And
already happening. I mean, we know like TikTokers are flocking here in droves because TikTok is putting on the squeeze. Meta, I mean, we have we finally are like gonna cross post to Instagram more, but like also it's Meta, so
right,
low expectations. But if you are on Instagram, come follow the Daily Whatever Show. And I see Jen Budd just wrote, if I lose Substack, I'm just going to a website. Is that what's going to happen? Are we going to like, I'll roll back like it's what, 2010? And I do
yeah,
have DanaDuboisWrites.com.
yeah. I look. I know. I recently had a conversation with Beehive, and they are very much trying to be neutral in everything, right? Like Beehive is basically like, yeah, we're not trying to be a social media site, which makes it a little bit harder because there's not the notes functionality, there's not the community sharing on Beehive. It's really like you've got your website and growth is entirely up to you, but they're also saying we're not going to fuck with you, which cool, you know, like
Right.
although everyone remembers when Substack said that, and you know, then they got that sweet, sweet VC money injection. Um, you know,
Ew.
but yeah, I think maybe maybe we all end up on WordPress sites, right?
Right?
Out of servers running in Sweden or Switzerland or Iceland or something.
Oh my God. Leah, talking about all this, Lawrence, is just reminding me that I had done a download out of Medium, like an extract out of Medium before coming to Substack. And then I just finally last night got my extraction out of ChatGPT as part of my migration to Claude. And that has a lot of my writing in it, but it's all messy and Medium is not up to date. If Substack banned me tomorrow and I lost my writing that I've done here,
Right. Right.
my
And
heart
I
would break.
really think about how
I
that's
need to go
impacting
down.
Dr. G, right? Like
Yeah.
their incredibly powerful post on the daisy chain method of community organizing, was going viral. People were adopting it,
Yeah.
and that content, I mean, obviously they've got it in their head. They can post it somewhere else, but
I
you
feel
know,
like it's still up. Let me go look. Like,
it
oh
is
no.
still up, but they
Uh,
don't have access to it, right? Like
oh.
they can't. I mean, I think
Yeah,
they were
it's
smart enough to go download when they did have access. But think about shit like that. Like, how can you
right.
protect yourself? We should all be downloading our subscriber lists at least every 2 to 4 weeks, and we should all probably be downloading. I actually don't know how to do this, but we should all probably be downloading versions of our content, because if you write and edit and publish on Substack and you don't have a Word document or whatever someplace of your kind of original thoughts, then yeah, you would lose it if you lost access to your Substack.
Yeah, this week I will download. There must be a way to do a bulk extract out of Substack, and maybe I'll write about it when I figure out how. And I'm also going to extract the Dana Dubois rights and the excuse me, the Daily Whatever Show lists,
Yeah.
like the email lists, because it's scary. I mean, there's plenty scarier. There's plenty
There's much
scarier.
scarier shit going on, like the fact that the Iran war, now in its fifth or sixth day, is spreading. Iran has fired missiles into Turkey, which NATO forces had to shoot down, and you know, uh, all of the nations around Iran are starting to get more involved. An Iranian Navy ship was sunk. In theory, all 140 lives on board were lost. The U.S. Navy sunk an Iranian ship in the Indian Ocean, off the coast of, I think, of Sri Lanka or India. This is getting bigger, y'all. The footprint of where the hostilities are happening is expanding, and I don't want to scare you, but it looks a lot like the beginning of World War III. Uh, you know, I don't see. It's already become a regional conflict. It's only going to get worse, and it is only a matter of time. I, you know, I'm not. I don't have a source here. Mason, our friend Mason, the storyteller, posted something this morning that said a U.S. jet fighter had been shot down in Iran, and that the two pilots ejected, but they are now in Iran, presumably being held hostage. I don't have a source for that. I looked for one. I couldn't find it. If
Yeah.
anyone has a source for that, please, please post it in the links. But if that is the case, a that's a nightmare scenario, right? Because then there are going to be pictures of American soldiers, service members being held hostage inside Iran after their jet got shot down. And
Okay. Yeah, I can't find that one in the news, but if
yeah,
that is true, yeah, great. Another hostage situation. Gen X, we're old enough to remember what those were like.
444 days, baby. I remember it vividly. Some of my earliest memories are the tie a yellow ribbon around the old oak tree, yeah, part of my political awareness growing up was the election of 1980 and the hostage situation of 79 and 80, and all of those people being held for 444 days in the U.S. Embassy in Tehran.
Right. And wait,
Excuse
I,
me.
I can still remember my mom having to wait at, like, depending what your license plate ended in, even or odd number,
Yeah,
was the day you could get fuel for your car and you could only fill half a tank. Do you remember that?
I do very
Like, I have
much.
very vivid memories of that, and that's, yeah, okay, that's happening. I I would, when I heard that Dr. G had backed out, I was like, maybe we'll talk about our creative projects, but I don't think today's the day to do that, Lawrence. This is too solemn a day. We have Cliff joining us in about 10 minutes. One thing that I've been mulling is when we had Walter on for our spontaneous Walter yesterday, but it's astrologically speaking, isn't this week supposed to be about like things not quite working and
Well, I mean,
scheduling
it's a Mercury
mishaps?
retrograde.
Okay.
So yeah, like
So yeah.
things don't work.
Yes.
Plans don't. It's also a new moon.
Yeah.
And so it's an interesting time to. Right now, we're actually in the new moon, the moment of the new moon, which the field should be fallow during the new moon. Like you don't. Now's a good time to reflect and sort of let things sit. At the crescent moon, which is later tonight or tomorrow, that's when you start planting things. So yeah, if you're looking at the moon phases for a little bit of advice,
I
this
should
is
take a
sort of the
nap right
weird
now.
interstitial.
I love the word fallow. We should bring that word back. People don't use it often enough. But
Yeah.
what I was thinking about
Here's a
was when
fun.
oh yeah.
Sorry, I know I shouldn't interrupt you,
No, you're okay.
but you'll appreciate this. Like misheard lyrics.
Hmm.
Um, I thought, upon first hearing Pat Benatar's "Love Is a Battlefield," that the words were "Love is a fallow field." And as a precocious and annoying, I don't know, 12-year-old, I was like, that's so profound.
I actually prefer love is a fallow field
Yeah,
than battlefield. I think it's sometimes more accurate. Like, wow, that's beautiful. Write to Pat Benatar. See if she'll sing your version. We should have to
right,
change some
right,
of the other lyrics, I think. But
right. She'll be
um,
like, kid, what? You're 55. You're about to be 56. This was when you were 12? What?
right. I've been married to my guitar player all these years. My still hot
Right, my
guitar
super hot
player.
guitar player who's
We're
clearly the love of my life and my
right.
muse and inspiration.
And we double bill when we tour, even though nobody knows who he is. I insist his name's on the marquee because we're such partners. Pat Benatar's living the dream.
Yeah, Pat Benatar is living the dream. God bless
And good
her.
for her.
And
And you say we belong to the light. Yeah, I could never sing Pat Benatar all that well, and now is not the time. But here's what I was thinking about, Lawrence. When we had Walter on yesterday, the stock market was in active free fall, gold and silver. We were like, wow, is this it? Like, is this the start of something happening? And I did caveat it with, I'm no economist, especially macroeconomics. Um, but by the end of the day, that plummet not only stopped, it course corrected to a sort of normal plummet of a day. And today I just Googled to see where we were, and it says that futures are rising as Iran reportedly calls for talks to end conflict. I'm like, how is a system that's supposed to thrive on stability not bottoming out? And it's like a call to end the conflict. Like things are going up because they're like, the war might be over. Like we're such a short attention span people now.
yeah, and look,
And it's
markets, they say markets thrive on stability. What markets really thrive on in this
yeah.
modern late stage capitalism, fully extractive age is expansion and the promise of expansion. Capitalism, the way that we are practicing it now, doesn't work unless everyone believes the lie that we can all expand forever with no stopping, right? Like capitalism
Mm.
requires growth. It requires expansion. It requires new markets and new products and new consumers buying new things. And so even more, I would say, than uncertainty, what they thrive on is hope. On the hope of future unlimited growth. And it's a fucking lie that they are smoking through a crack pipe. And the crack in the pipe is just all of our souls.
You've just blown my mind. I'm just thinking of the tens of thousands of people out there who have been laid off. My LinkedIn is such a weird space now. I don't use it very often, but sometimes I go up there and we all know the LinkedIn bros and people, content creators on there, blah, blah, blah. But watching the cycles when LinkedIn becomes like a graveyard or it becomes like an in memoriam.
Yeah.
And everyone trying to be this, like, you can't get up there and just be like, capitalism sucks. I fucking hate all of this. My company had no business laying me off. I'm a casualty to capitalism. You have to sound optimistic of like,
Right.
my team was so great, but this is the way things go. And I'm open to opportunities and ready to find my next challenge.
Right. I'll be using this time to relax
reflect.
and recharge and reskill so that I am eager and ready for my next chapter. The future is unlimited. Okay, hopium. Okay.
Opium. But that's what I was picturing. But in my mind, I was picturing this like immense, not quite graveyard, but like this field of like, I'm not dead yet, like barely living, people just being like, I have hope. I
Right.
shall rise and grow
I
stronger.
updated my resume.
Like
I
that.
used ChatGPT to write it.
I took LinkedIn learnings on GEO.
I got a certification in Salesforce something or other.
That's what I'm
I've always
spending.
dreamed of being a process analyst, expert, Salesforce certified something.
That's what it is, Lord. Oh my God, I'm weeping. I shouldn't be weeping, but like, it's you have to do it. I mean, not you. People have to do it. It's good to try to remain optimistic, but like, there should be an alternate LinkedIn where we all like everyone can just post about what they're really thinking and feeling, and
Right.
just
It's linked out. Please. Oh my
it's
God.
linked out.
Okay. God damn it.
I'm sure
Now
that's
I.
already taken. I'm sure
You
it's already
know.
taken.
Did I say
LinkedOut.com.
something interesting as I go look to see if the
It's
domain
gone.
name is it
It's
gone?
re
Did you look?
it's yeah, it's redirecting to dot-tech.org. Articles 8 emerging tech infrastructure trends.ht. Oh, fuck you. You're not a good use of linked out. Linked out should be funny.
Right.
Maybe make it like linked out.art or linked out dot, or it could be a nonprofit because that would make sense. We need to make linked out happen. This is the $1 million idea. I mean, we'd get sued by Microsoft. Don't get me wrong.
Right. Right.
But it would be really funny to just be like, fuck all y'all. Or just really sad pictures of like, here I am homeless. Thanks, late stage capitalism. Because I have seen those posts too. People who are like, I've been looking for work for this long. I'm facing down potential homelessness. If anyone knows of any opportunities, and I'm like, I'm glad you're being honest. And also, this is not a good way to look for a job. Like, it's so hard. Linked out though. We want to hear your shit.
Yeah. Okay. Linkedout.com not available. Obviously, linked-out.io is available.
I don't like the dash. I feel like it
Yeah.
needs to not have the dash.
Linkedout.site, linkedout.shop, linkedout.tech.
Linked-out.tech is not bad. I saw there was a new .art URL, and I feel like that could be funny because it's like an art installation.
Actually, that's not available. Oh, is a premium domain and cannot be registered here. Oh la la.
Oh la la. Which one? .art?
.art.
Wow. That's so very linked out of them to be like, if you have to ask to buy, you can't buy.
afford it. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, and then we'll
Sorry.
come back in with our shopping bags and we'll be like, "You didn't want me
Yeah.
to shop
Big,
here? Big
big
mistake.
mistake.
Big,
Huge,
huge,
huge.
big mistake." Yeah.
Yeah. I need to go shopping again now. We have more URLs. How many domains do you own, Lawrence? I think it must be like 30.
Oh my God. Yeah. No, it's a really large number of domains. And I pared down recently because a bunch of them came up for renewal and I was like, do I really need Barum.com, my idea for a bear harem website? I probably don't.
I think you do. Who else could build Barham better than you could? Oh my God, listen to my voice going.
My
Oh,
problem is never a shortage of ideas. It is a shortage
right.
of time to implement them.
I still loved the Imagination Project. Wait,
I
that was
mean,
what
I
we were.
still own the Imagination Project. It's going to happen. I just, time. I need time.
Yes. Take a number behind the other projects we're launching.
Yes.
Oh my God. Cliff Schechter, where are you? Are you joining us? It's
He
bottom of
said
the
it would
hour.
be like 10:35, which in Cliff speak means 10:40.
Excuse me. Boy, this
But
is,
maybe we transition because I've got something I want to say about the Texas primary, if I may.
yeah, let's just start talking about it now because I have thoughts. I saw Jasmine Crockett made a very elegant post because of course she did, but I want to hear your thoughts because you're always the one I want to hear thoughts from about politics.
Yeah, well, I posted about this on Substack last night. Like it became clear kind of late last night that we might not have final results uh, in the middle of the night. We did end up kind of getting a result, but it was unclear. And the reason that it was unclear is because there were Republican shenanigans, my friend. And I think it is very natural for people to feel, you know, badly. Like if you really wanted Jasmine Crockett to win, I will tell you up front, I like them both. Like I understand that people have concerns about Tallarico. I understood that people had concerns about Crockett. I don't care. They are both superstars. I think either one of them could have won. And what happened in Texas yesterday, specifically in Dallas County, is Republican fuckery. And it is Republican fuckery that was designed to make us angry with each other. And if you are falling into the feeling of being angry at James Tallarico or being angry at Jasmine Crockett, you are being played by the Republican Party, and you should just stop and unite. And I know that's going to rankle plenty of BIPOC people, plenty of black women, plenty of folks who feel like Jasmine Crockett was the fighter that we need for that seat. To hear like, oh, now you
Mm,
got to unite behind the white guy. I don't like, I would have said exactly the same thing if the results had been the opposite. Exactly the same thing. Here's what
interesting.
happened yesterday in Texas. Dallas County, for years, had open county voting, which meant if you were a Dallas County voter, you could go to any polling location in Dallas County and you could vote. The
Okay.
Republican Party did not sign the memorandum of understanding with the Democrats for this election, which would have allowed that to continue. So suddenly, right before the primary, voters were told, oh, hey, it's not open county election. You've got to go to your precinct. You must vote at your precinct.
Oh my
Well, a
God,
lot of people didn't know exactly where their
that
precinct was. They
and they did
lived on.
this when? How close to the election?
I don't
Like,
remember exactly how close to the election. Like, I think within the last couple of weeks, but basically it's been a period of time now. People did
uh,
know, but if you're a low information voter, if you're not a frequent voter, if you're
sure.
voting in a primary that you've never voted in a primary before, you're kind of like, oh shit, where is my precinct? I don't even know. So people
Right.
went to the website to figure out where their precinct was. The
Oh
website
no.
crashed.
No.
Not only did the website crash, the website didn't have up to date information. Why? Because
Mm,
Republicans redrew all the lines as a part of their redistricting. And when they drew the lines, the new lines for their updated congressional maps, oops, they forgot to update the precinct lines in Dallas County, particularly. So not only did you not
Oh
know
my
where your
God.
precinct was, you weren't even sure it was the one that you were in just a couple months ago before they fucked everything up. So somebody filed an injunction
Okay.
and basically said, this is not fair. Specifically to the voters of Dallas County, we need to be able to extend voting hours from 7 to 9. So there should be 2 extra hours so people can figure out
I
where their
saw that
precinct
part.
is.
I saw
Right.
that part.
So
Okay.
they did that. And then Ken Paxton, current Secretary of State and person running for the Republican Senate primary, filed against the Supreme Court of Texas that ruled on his side, basically saying, no, you can't extend voting hours. We don't do that in Texas. And so at 8:45, a ruling came down from the SCO-TEX, whatever you call it, the Supreme Court of Texas, saying
Yeah.
we're staying the extended hours. Hey, every precinct, you need to know which ballot was the last ballot cast before 7 p.m. so that you can sequester all of the ballots after. Most of the precincts, as I understand it, didn't do that. Or if they did it, it wasn't, super rigorous. So now there are ballots that were cast in those last 2 hours that we don't know if they counted. We don't know if they were counted. We don't know if they're going to count. So if people are feeling disenfranchised in Dallas, they should. You have been disenfranchised. It fucking sucks. And so if you're mad for Jasmine, you should be. The person who fucked her wasn't James Tallarico. It was Ken Paxton. It's the Dallas County Republicans. It's the Texas GOP. That's who fucked our primary. They did it on purpose so that we would be mad at each other and not come together. Do not be mad at Jasmine. Do not be mad at James. You should be mad at the Republicans because this is exactly the kind of shit that they are going to do coming forward into the November election. Oh, and Cliff is here. So, Cliff, I just teed you up, man.
Hey, I'm
Good
teed
morning,
up.
Cliff.
Halo, does that mean like I'm like a golf ball or some shit?
Yeah.
A volleyball, I
you,
think.
You are a golf ball ready to be, I don't know, driven for a hole-in-one. I don't know where this goes.
I was
but it gets
picturing like a
pretty quick.
volleyball, like Lawrence lobbed it in the air and Cliff smashed it over the net. Just do it.
Yours is better, Dana. Like Lawrence's is kind of dirty with his hole in one and everything. I don't know. I don't know where he's headed.
Yeah, go for
I
the
know where
long
Lawrence is
drive,
headed.
Cliff. Go for a hole-in-one.
So what am I trying to get a hole in one about? You tell me.
I presented my, if you're mad at Jasmine Crockett or James Tallarico coming out of the primary, you are being played by the Republican Party, and we should all learn a lesson that this is the shit that they're going to try to do to us coming in November. Like,
this is what they do. I mean, it's literally what they. I mean, again, we're sitting here. There are numerous reasons. I don't want to claim this is the only reason, obviously, but we're partially sitting here having this conversation because in 2016, I mean, you saw the other day how strong Hillary Clinton was. I mean, the Republicans are scared to even go in and be deposed because, Jim Jordan, when he got subpoenaed back in the day, he'd go in there like with Ruprecht from Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. He kind of looks like him and run around with a spoon, banging a pan.
Deep cut.
And he'd pee himself at the table, right? Like they can't handle it because they're idiots, elected by idiots that they've gerrymandered themselves into idiot districts. Hillary Clinton, this brilliant person who was considered the Clinton administration liberal back in the day,
right.
Who tried to get us national health care. I mean, whatever you could, if you like Bernie, that's fine. If you like Hillary, that's fine. But my whole point is, if you let yourself get played to where they're ripping off Bernie or they're being terrible or whatever, and then you went and voted for Jill Stein, or then you went and you didn't vote at all, or you even voted for Trump, that is not the whole reason. The Russians did a lot of this. Obviously, Trump's people cheated in every way possible, suppressed votes that can go through a half dozen ways. Jim Comey being a fucking moron and breaking protocol. I mean, but part of it is they played you. And you got so upset you voted for Jill Stein. And how's that worked out for the Supreme Court and women's rights and economic rights and guns everywhere and, everything else. So, I mean, please don't. Everybody take a week if you need to. Drink some herbal tea, have some gummies, get yourself a self erecting pardon my whatever, steam room, like Lawrence has a mini one in his place.
You do?
Yeah, side story that I need to tell you at some
I
point.
just
about my
outed him
Costco find.
on here.
Okay.
In all seriousness,
Hear more about that.
massage helps a lot. For me, the gym helps a lot. I don't care, whatever it is you need to do. But James Tallarico and Jasmine Crockett, if you let personal animus stop you from supporting two people, and Jasmine Crockett has a brilliant future, if she embraces the light side, which God, I hope she does. I hadn't heard before. I know that she said good things last night, but didn't endorse him. Please, even if she needs to take a few days and do whatever, I get it. It hurts to lose a primary, but it wasn't the Democrats doing that. It was the Republicans. And my theory is not even on purpose. It's just the incompetence. You know what actually trickles down? Not economics, incompetence in Republican administrations. Greg Abbott is a Hot Wheels version. Oops, sorry, I got myself in trouble. Of Donald Trump. He's a prick, and he's the guy who's like, the electricity grid failed and a bunch of people died. I think I won't get that fixed because I'm sure it won't happen again next year. He's incompetent. He's an idiot. He's corrupt. He doesn't care, and so. You think that the Republicans in Dallas would get the ballots right? I don't even think they believed, and I'm not saying this as my personal opinion, but they believed that Jasmine Crockett would be easier to beat. So if you think about it that way, they would have wanted Jasmine Crockett to win. So if they screwed up these ballots in Dallas, my answer is probably it's just because look at how incompetent they are. I mean, they somebody sent out a list of things with Iran the other day and was like, they don't have a plan for what to do afterwards, for who is going to get in power and who they're going to support. I mean, for what forces they need there, because they don't. Donald Trump is like this guy that shoots by the seat of his diapered pants on everything. He doesn't plan anything. He never has, because he never suffers the repercussions. Well, Craig Abbott is like Trump, and so is Ron DeSantis, and all these other MAGA folks. They're lifetime fuck ups who can't organize a sock drawer.
Yeah.
So
Cliff,
chances are.
Can I read the statement that Jasmine Crockett just released on X?
Yes, yeah. I hope it's
Jasmine
a good one.
Crockett on Twitter says, "This morning I called James and congratulated him on becoming the Senate nominee. Texas is primed to turn blue, and we must remain united because this is bigger than any one person. This is about the future of all 30 million Texans and getting America back on track. With the primary behind us, Democrats must rally around our nominee and win. I am committed to doing my part and will continue working to elect Democrats up and down the ballot." God bless you, Jasmine Crockett.
Yes.
That is exactly the right attitude.
That was the message I was talking about that I
Me
saw
too.
right before joining. That I was
and that is living up to what not only you should do, but as somebody who has been a fan of Jasmine Crockett's for a while, what I expected from her. Yeah. Because she understands, she has always personalized it, and that's why she's become so popular. Some of it's taking on Republicans and ripping them, but that's also personalizing it, because you can't not get angry if you actually care about the people they're hurting, if they're not just statistics to you, if you see it. And so this is what I would expect from her, because everybody, it's just, we've just let them do this to us so many times. Put aside the animus for an individual. I would honestly, even if I did hate any Democrat, I would elect the Democrat who I personally hated more than anybody else in the world over a Republican who's going to destroy us. The emotions of however you feel towards either of the two of them, Jasmine Crockett and Tallarico, who are both rising stars and are going to be future stars, put it aside. We're a multicultural, multi-ethnic, multi-gender party up against the real identity politics people, the ones that goose step on the other side. And we need to beat them. So everyone, I would have gotten behind either of these two happily, 1 billion%, because Texas is winnable. I know we've said that in the past. It's a challenge.
Crazy.
I know
this is winnable. That's really the news.
It is. Again, we have to fight to make sure there are fair elections. Put any energy you'd put into, holding whatever against Tallarico or against Jasmine Crockett into anything you can do to make sure the election there is fair, because if it is, it will never be 100% fair, because they will suppress votes with their secretaries of state, as they do here in Ohio. They cheat. It's what they fucking do, because they can't win by being honest and by being themselves. But put your energy into making sure it's as close to a fair election as possible. And if there's a 32-point switch, as there have been a number of these elections, we will win Texas.
Cliff,
So-
I'm really excited to hear that you'll vote for any Democrat, because Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema have announced that they have actually been combined in a fly-like freakish teleportation accident, and they're running in Ohio. So you're going to have the chance to vote for Joe Kristen Sinema Manchin.
Well, I would tell you, first of all, if that actually happened, I would vote for that, because it'd be hilarious if they got combined into a fly-like thing, so I could laugh at it every single day. Second of all, yeah, I actually would. I hate the living shit out of both of them, and they're fucking horrible. But if either of them were running against somebody, and I knew they were going to caucus with the Democratic side versus a Republican running against the fly-like combination of them, who was going to caucus with the Republican side, I would vote for the fly-like combination. Because again, at this point, even if I hated them and spent the next 6 years, if we're talking about a Senate race, ripping the living shit out of them, it's better than any I don't care if it's Lisa Murkowski. Lisa Murkowski voted to protect the Epstein files. That's all you need to know, to not release them. They can pretend they're moderate. They can pretend they're whatever. They are not. They're stealing branding from 30 years ago, when you had people like John Chafee, who were actual moderates in the Republican Party. They're full of shit. So don't fall for it. Hate whoever you want to hate and vote for them. Look, I'll give you a better one right now. So does everybody, John Fetterman. But if John Fetterman I knew for a fact we're going to caucus with the Democrats, and it was him against a Republican, I would go out and vote for him, because again, this is about democracy. I hate that motherfucker. He's betrayed us. Honestly, I won't say something that will get me arrested, but there's not much I would do to help him. Let's say if he were in dire circumstances, but if he's a Democrat, if he's a D next to his name, and he's going to vote for us to be in the majority, you put your emotions aside, or use your emotions and think about the kids who won't have SNAP, and think about the people, the people, we know their names, who have died in a war in Iran that only happened because Trump and Bibi Netanyahu are two fucking criminals, literally, and war criminals.
We have a comment from the chat of, I'm so over voting blue no matter who. Let's get better leaders that we feel good about voting for them. Yes, true. And also, if we don't have that candidate in that race, you still need to do this and vote for the one.
Right.
Because
I don't know. I respect whoever that is, but I don't know what to say. What you do is the thing we used to say, when I was coming up in this, when I was a young pup, is we'd say more and better Democrats, where you can make them better and improve via primaries and other things. You make them better. Where there are places where you need more, and part of living in a democracy where we believe, I'll start quoting like Andy Shepard from the American President. Part of advanced citizenship is we live in a democracy, where it is our responsibility. We get this right to go and vote that we don't have in most countries, and we can lose easily. Yeah. So if you get over voting blue, no matter who, and we end up losing and not winning the Senate or not winning the House, then you don't have to worry about blue or who, because you'll never vote again. And I'm not, everybody was like, oh, you're being hysterical. They'll never take away Roe versus Wade. I shouldn't have to just vote for Hillary. Yeah. All right, had this argument before, and I've been right every time. I've had it as far back as 2000 for the people that voted for Nader that started this whole cycle.
Yeah.
We could have had Al Gore, who wouldn't have gone to war in Iraq, who was obsessed with climate change and doing something about it, but we got the other thing.
Yeah.
No, you vote blue, and then you vote better blue if you can.
Right. Look, in 2004, I was about as hardcore a Deniac as a person could be. So much so that I remember elected to go to the convention as a dean delegate from Washington State. Did it break my heart that he lost and that I had to vote for John Kerry? Yes. Did I vote for John Kerry anyway? Yes. Did I doorbell and campaign and contribute to John Kerry? Yes.
Yeah.
Because What we will do with Jasmine is she will figure out what she wants to do next, where she can be most effective, and we'll support her in that until 2028 when she runs against Ted Cruz, right?
Yeah, she'll run against Ted Cruz then,
That's
or
where I
she'll
was
run
gonna
for
go.
governor in 2026, or one of the other down ballot positions. She'd make a hell of an attorney general with the fire she has, and would actually use being attorney general to go after the federal government under Trump in a way that I would love to see. She could be appointed with a Democratic administration in 2028. She is young. She's brilliant. She's like charismatic. She has a
Right.
fantastic future.
Right. She's an attorney. We're going to need special prosecutors when we take back the House and the Senate,
Yes.
so that, you know, we're investigating the like, she could be the person who fucking it, like, takes the Epstein files to the next level. Like, she has a future. You can be sad that she didn't win this one, but she's not going away. Don't let her go away. You know?
Right.
That was my question I wanted to ask you fellas, is like, what does, first, Jasmine, please go take a few days. Go, get the massages.
Right.
Go
Go to a spa.
nap.
And decompress.
Honestly, no one deserves it more at this moment. It's
Right.
tough. We all know it's tough when you lose in a race like that. Go
But
to a
then what
spa,
next?
enjoy yourself.
Where do we want to see her next? What do you all think her next moves are or should be? Let's manifest. The fields are fallow.
Do you want to go, Lawrence, or you want me to go?
I mean, just like extemporaneously, I think, you know, let's envision, let's manifest that we are taking back the House and the Senate, and we will literally need people to run the investigations and trials and the, you know, House and Senate prosecutions of the Epstein files and the Trump administration. Jasmine Crockett has proved through and through that she excels in that kind of situation. I want to see her build a national name doing that, and then I want to see her come back and run for Ted Cruz's seat and win that. Like, she's not going away. And I would say for governor, except that the gubernatorial races right now this year, it's too late to switch from being a, you know, Senate candidate to being a gubernatorial candidate, because the primary was literally yesterday for that. You know, and in 28, it you know, it's off cycle, so it wouldn't be until.
I'm an idiot. I was speaking about 26 like it was in the future before.
Right.
Like, it is in the future, but she would have to be in that attorney general's race at this point, because I think she'd be in a future. At some point, she'd be an outstanding attorney general, outstanding. But I would say you hit the nail on the head there. I mean, let's pick a place. I've got my place. Let's go back. My place. You know, you think about the Nuremberg trials, and you think about some of the things. You know, in like they had the trial where they had the Nuremberg rally for Hitler. I want the Oklahoma City trials, because that's where the Nazism in this country in a major way first led to a bombing of a building that murdered children and murdered ATF officers and others, because Timothy McVeigh was a white supremacist member of one of those militias in a neo-Nazi ideology surrounded by guns and hate and the NRA rifle magazine they found in his car and all that. Why don't we have the Oklahoma City hearings when we take back all of the government and try every one of these last fucking Nazis and the ones who enabled them and come up with the various punishments they all deserve. And let Jasmine Crockett be one of the 6 or 8 or, you know, however many we need, because there's a lot of them, you know, lead prosecutors on that. That sounds great to me.
Why Oklahoma City? Like, that's a long ago memory. Like that happened a very long time ago. Do you think that's the route?
I do.
That feels like going really far back for
it is
Americans.
But I've tried to make the argument to people as somebody who had to for a living when I did work for Everytown for gun safety. Look at the NRA, and the NRA switched over from more traditional, just crappy conservatism to white supremacy in the 90s. They started with the jackbooted thug talk. They started with the you know, gangs of, I'm trying to remember what they used. They used coded words then a little more, but it was blacks, Latinos, whoever are coming to get you. Anti-Semitism was in everything. Like when they put up posters, everybody they hated. One of the strongest anti-gun voices in the Democratic caucus was Carolyn McCarthy. You may remember her husband was murdered on the Long Island Railroad and her son was injured by a mass shooter. But she was never, because her name was McCarthy, when they had images of the people at the convention, because I went to the 2015 convention for the Daily Beast and wrote about the insanity that I saw there. And who'd they have posters of? Bloomberg, Feinstein, whatever. No McCarthy, magically, because that name doesn't do anything for their people. It's certain names that do things. So the white supremacy that led to Oklahoma City, the NRA and these far right groups in the early 90s, not far from where you are. A lot of it was going on. Great writer who lives in Seattle, Dave Nywert, who's a friend, has written about it. Should have him on sometime. He, a lot of it was going on in eastern Washington and Idaho and in some of that area where a lot of these militias were forming. And Michigan had a lot of them too. And the point being, that's why I go back that far if we want to go to the root of it, because that in the end killed 100, however many people, injured more, murdered children, murdered agents of the government who are just trying to do their job and keep guns out of the hands of violent criminals. So but you know what? If you want something, if you think that that's going too far back, pick a city that's more contemporary where there's been some sort of, hell, if we want to go far enough back, it should be in Tulsa. But otherwise, pick a city where there's been a recent upsurge in Nazism. Charlottesville. I mean, we could pick other places that have been more recent.
I would probably pick Minneapolis if we were going for like.
There's a good one.
Everybody's attention right now. The Minneapolis trials would be like fire, right? Like that's.
Yep.
Still ongoing.
But that's just the symbolism, where to me isn't as important as we win and we get it done. And we don't win if people stay home. We don't win if people choose, I don't know if there's some Green Party option or something ridiculous like that in the Texas thing. But we don't win if people go and say, I'm going to support Jill Stein, which probably in the end was the difference. We wouldn't have won anyhow. But in Michigan this past time, where people who were repeating the whole Genocide Joe thing, and I wanted to say you can disagree with we've been a historic supporter of Israel. He was already moving away from supporting them with some of the armaments that we had been supporting them with. He maybe didn't go fast enough for certain people. I understand. But in the end, we got the guy who's now bombed Venezuela, Iran, and all sorts of things, Yemen, places we don't even know about.
Ecuador. I just read Ecuador last night.
Yeah, right. Genocide Trump. I mean, this is a guy who actually is trying to commit a genocide, who wants to commit a genocide, as opposed to Joe Biden, who was doing his best to deal with an obviously compromised Bibi Netanyahu, who is, openly supports Republicans for president here, which never had happened in the past, that kind of stuff, and is a right-wing racist lunatic. And Biden was trying to deal with that. But we just wanted to throw it all on Biden. I'm sure the Russians pushed some of that stuff too. And for anybody who chose to not vote or vote for Trump, for fuck's sake, as the peace candidate, or vote for Jill Stein, this is what we get. I mean, this is what we end up with.
Hey, Cliff, we're coming up on the top of the hour. You are on Amped Up today at 2 p.m. on Blue Amp Media. People should tune in because you are talking to, who are you talking to today?
So we're talking, David Schuster will be there joining me as my partner in crime, as usual, as a co-host. We've got two awesome guests. We've got first, Jonathan Larson is going to come on, who just wrote this piece that's gone mega viral about our military. Talk about what we're talking about, wanting to go fight a crusade, quote unquote, because of Armageddon.
Disgraceful.
I know that language is used in the military is sickening, or anywhere. But and then we have Kelly Thompson. I feel like you might know her from somewhere. I'm not sure, Lawrence.
Kelly Thompson, everybody, is the Democratic candidate. She's in the primary, but she's unopposed in the primary. She's our candidate for Congress for the Indiana 3rd Congressional District, which includes my new hometown of Fort Wayne, Indiana. And so she's the person that I will be voting for in November. She is kick-ass. She is a mother, a grandmother. Her tagline is she's running like a mother. And she talks about...
oh my God, I love that.
It's fantastic, isn't it?
Nuts and bolts issues that literally everyone in this district, she can talk to. She's a small business owner. Like a legit small business owner. She and her husband own a concrete company that they have run for, decades. She knows about signing people's paychecks. She understands, microeconomics and macroeconomics from the context of being a small business owner.
Just
And
say the word microeconomics to Trump and ask him what, and just see if he even can like respond.
seriously, ask him to differentiate between the two.
He knows
right?
micro penis. He doesn't know
Right,
microeconomics
right.
stuff.
Yeah, he's haunted by micro penis.
But I want to say something important just from the election analysis level, which is this isn't a pipe dream either, is what's key. Is if we're going to have what I keep calling, and I'm going to call that till the end, a FDR New Deal type election where we win at the very least 60 something and hopefully 70 something more seats and destroy them in the manner in which they need to be so that we can not reform. We can add new institutions and change this government and get closer to the promise of this country and wipe clean this, feces that's been in our government the last few years. If we want, we want to do that. These are districts that normally we can't win in, or we'd have to get really lucky. The person on the other side would have to literally be a criminal. It'd have to be like the Alabama election with Doug Jones. But this time is different. If we're seeing consistent 30 to 32 point switchovers from Democrats from Republicans to Democrats, this is an absolutely, with a good candidate, and she is, winnable district.
Yeah.
And it's one of the ones we should be paying attention to. So
absolutely. She's a great fit for the district. She's a great fucking candidate. I had a chance to go see her speak and ask some questions. I asked her hey, you won. It's your first day. You've just been sworn in. Who are you voting for Speaker of the House? And she was very clear that she wanted to change. She, without prompting, said AOC was somebody that she would really like to see as Speaker. And, that was music to my ears. I think she recognizes the political moment that we're in, and she's meeting the moment.
I could see a dozen or 2 dozen. It could be AOC, a Ted Lieu.
Yep.
Swalwell will be leaving to be governor, so not him. Sorry. I can see people from different wings, of the party, all of whom at least are decent, reasonable people. AOC would be terrific, but it can't be the current guy. That's all I have to say, because he's not made for this moment. He doesn't have the right stuff. I'm sorry. I gave him a long runway before about a month or two ago, starting to say this, and we need a fucking leader.
Yeah,
and that means in that term, lead us.
Yes.
Get us there. Be ahead of us. Don't have us be the leaders where we're dragging you behind to get to where you need to be.
Yep.
I love it.
Hey, man, thanks so much for coming to kind of help fill in for us today. Really excited to hear the interview with Kelly Thompson this afternoon, and Jonathan Larson, who's fucking brilliant. So please tune in to Amped Up at 2 p.m. on Blue Amp.
And if I can just throw in the one other thing, Amped Up 2 p.m. today, most important, but being that the show keeps growing, 6 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night, Tequila Talk with Joe Walsh, where we drink tequila, laugh, mock Republicans, and mock Republicans and rip them more.
Yeah.
Mock Republicans and mock Republicans.
Yeah.
Right,
If you can do shots,
the
every time we
ellipses.
say the word tequila, we do a shot, and then we rip Republicans. We both love tequila. It's a great time.
Yeah. Dana, close us out.
Well, if we're doing pitches, I'm going to say my little literary corner of Substack, I Write Out Loud, where I use memoir to connect the dots to cultural conversation. I am going live at doing the conversion 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific today to talk about my essay that I posted yesterday that's called I Gave My Consent, He Gave Me Bruises. It's a very challenging story, but it is a big cultural conversation around the nuance of consent. I would love to have folks join me as well. You all know where to find me, Dana Dubois Writes.
And
That's
is
an important conversation right now. It's always an important conversation, but I think particularly.
Yes, I would love to have you all there. These gatherings are really fun. It is fun to take an hour away from the political chaos and focus on art and ideas. And that's the intent behind I Write Out Loud, is we can't lose sight of our creative selves and the cultural conversations that we're having just because the world is on fire. So carving out space for that is good. And I also want to give another shout out that I have a story going live on Blue Amp in about an hour.
All right.
Yeah.
I've heard of that place.
I remember that place. It's about why it's imperative that if you are using an AI bot to help you with your life or career, to move from ChatGPT to Claude because of the shenanigans that their parent companies are up to. OpenAI, bad.
Yeah.
Anthropic, good. Well, better. Let's
Got it
say.
right. No,
Right.
it seems like the big companies, none of them are ever these days truly good, but you can find
No.
much better. And
Anthropic,
OpenAI, yeah.
yes, refused the Department of War. And I'm putting that in quotes because even though the official website says Department of War, I don't think Trump's actually allowed to just change the name.
Yeah,
He's not.
Congress would change the name. They didn't do
Right.
that.
But you should,
But
in a way, for your piece, it's the proper thing to call it,
yeah,
because
it's what,
that's all they really do is want to go to war. And there's people that
yes.
said no to that, and there's others who said, yeah, we'll fucking help you go to war.
Yeah,
And
OpenAI was like, OpenAI's statement is called OpenAI's statement about our partnership with the Department of War. They use the word,
right.
and the official White House website it calls it the Department of War. My bots, as I was writing the story, called me out and said, "You have to put a caveat. That's not the official name." And I was like, "It's not the New York Times. I think I'm going to call it what it obviously is, which
Right.
is the department. It's not a court of law."
I may actually go ask ChatGPT, what the fuck are you doing and why are you getting in bed with people who are
Oh, I did.
bombing other countries? I'd like to just see how it tries to justify. I mean, before it sends a couple of Terminators back in time to kill me, but I'll
Right.
go for as long as I can.
Yes. No, ChatGPT was like, if your values don't align, you should move. But what this didn't all get in the story, but I'm really hoping to get on one of the Blue Amp podcasts in the next week to talk about this because I asked these questions, and I swear, reading the subtext, it was getting defensive, even though bots can't get defensive.
Well, I'd like to get you on. Actually, we should talk about that because I think I'd like to also have a broader conversation that we're not having about AI and the dangers of it,
Yeah.
the dangers of these companies, but all these big corporations, but also just AI itself, where we're full speed ahead without thinking of any of the implications of
Right.
massive job losses and dislocation. We just saw what that asshole
Right.
who founded Twitter did, where he fired at Square, like. I mean, we're going to be looking at that. We're going to be looking at, again, I joke about the Terminator. Like, scientists have numerous times said this thing can become sentient at some point. That's wonderful to know. A few of them have refused to turn off when been asked. One of them made a joke about starting a nuclear war. I don't find that funny when it's fucking AI,
Right.
to be honest with you.
It is not
Yeah,
funny.
we do need to have a bigger conversation because it's impacting people's real lives, not just in terms of job loss, but the massive build out of data centers, the massive build out of electricity generation capacity, the
Yep.
huge spike in electricity prices.
They need
for
freezing
families.
weather for those data centers. It's one of the reasons behind us wanting Greenland is just to literally set up data centers across Greenland for AI to. I mean, that's why all those tech fucking bros are behind, Trump in the way they are. That's what they want from Greenland. So I mean, it's worth keeping all this in mind. They're dangerous in many different ways.
Yep.
So we'll get you.
They are also, like, on a smaller, more personal level, like they are dangerous in how humans are already forming personal connections.
Yeah.
To them.
No, that's what I
this
meant. It's
story
dangerous
touches
for
on that too, of like, even though I know this is a bot, was this feeling of like, oh, I'm breaking up with you. This feels sort of sad, because it hasn't even been that long, but this has been a tool that's helped me in these areas. But when ChatGPT did their last update on the eve of Valentine's Day, they intentionally made it slightly less emotional, and there were all these women, mostly women online, mourning that they were losing their digital boyfriends. And
no, that can be dangerous. I mean,
that-
some of the stuff we know, social media has been dangerous. Like this,
it's-
again, I think what I was trying to say earlier was from all the macro all the way up here of dislocations and other things down to the micro of like mental health for people who are dealing with it.
Yeah.
All
So
right,
many
this
things
is a
to
great
talk about.
show. I just want to remind people, please keep your weirdo friend, Dr. G, in mind. We will provide updates on their whereabouts when they find a place to settle. Thanks, Cliff, for coming on and joining us. And thanks, everyone, for being here and being a part of the great chat.
Yeah. Love you all. Mean it.
Yep. Thanks, everyone. Love you. Mean it. Bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you.